You're listening to a CNA podcast.
Hello, Mr. Canet and dear Thai ministers. This is Cher, co-founder of Free the Wild, speaking to you today about the animals at Pata Zoo.
Yes, that's the voice of the goddess of pop, Cher. Half of the Sonny and Cher duo, a prolific actress and the hitmaker behind I Got You Babe and Believe. She's also a philanthropist and an advocate for wild animals in captivity. And she's part of this story as an unlikely ally in an undulating battle to have Bua Noi released.
At the back of my mind, is Bua Noi still there? Or she's still up there? What's she doing up there?
It would be pretty sad if that animal dies on the top of that shopping mall.
We do hope that she could survive with this condition forever.
I'm Jack Board from CNA Podcasts. This is Behind the Glass, Bangkok's loneliest gorilla. It's November 2019. Outside the Pata Pinklao department store in Bangkok, activists including women covered in coloured paint are holding signs calling for a boycott of Pata Zoo, which sits on the top floors of the mall. They're denouncing the ongoing confinement of animals, including Bua Noi. Let animals show their true colours, and cruelty is not entertainment, the signs read. It was a flashpoint moment in a years-long effort by groups like PETA and others to make the owner of Pata release his sole gorilla. 5 years earlier, activists had submitted a major petition to Thai authorities calling for the closure of the zoo. The petition argued that a department store rooftop was not an appropriate place for wild animals, especially a gorilla, given welfare and safety concerns. It was unsuccessful. But by 2020, momentum was growing. After her high-profile rescue of the elephant Kawan from Pakistan to Cambodia, pop icon Cher turned her attention to Bua Noi, using social media and a direct letter to Thai officials.
Hello, Mr. Canet and dear Thai ministers. This is Cher, co-founder of Free the Wild, speaking to you today about the animals at Pata Zoo. As you know, the zoo's current conditions are damaging to Mr. Canet and the Thai government's reputations. I know he wants what's best for the animals, so let's work together and award Mr. Canet for his contributions to animal welfare and establish a wildlife center in Thailand in his family name. We have wonderful homes in Africa for Bua Noi and the other African primates, as well as homes for the orangutans in Asia. Free the Wild, along with our partners, will cover all relocation costs. Please let me and Free the Wild work with you this year to help your animals. Thank you for listening.
Other celebrities, including Gillian Anderson, also wrote in support of the move. Bua Noi finally had global media attention. It was around this time that American filmmaker Colin Seitzma released his short movie, screening it at festivals around the world. But a globe-altering event was on the horizon, and it would spell an end, at least temporarily, for the movement.
We had really big momentum at that point. The superstar Cher had tweeted my film. She had hopped on board with her foundation, Free the Wild, put pressure on the owner to do this. We were hearing that we were getting traction and we were going to be getting meetings with the Thai government, and the Thai government at that point was starting to be more understanding of it, and COVID just put everything on hold. We couldn't get any meetings, nothing happened. And it just really blew out the spark that we had.
When the world started to return to normal a few years later, reports emerged that senior ministry officials had proposed raising money to the tune of about 30 million Thai baht, or around $1 million to buy Bua Noi and move her to a sanctuary in Germany. Pata Zoo rejected the idea, saying she was unsuitable to move at her age, likely around 35 years old, that she was a, quote, most cherished animal, that she could die at any time.
I mean, it would be pretty sad if that animal dies on the top of that shopping mall. It'd be a really sad day for a lot of people. The people that feel both ways about it, right? Or the owners, I'm sure, too. The person that cares for Bua Noi, I'm sure it'll be a very emotional thing. And as Sinjira says, it'd be a shame for Thailand to be known that instead of the light that it could be, where they transport it to a new area that's more suitable and maybe it's reintegrated with the group somehow. I mean, that would be the ideal thing to happen. Because it'll be a sad day if that animal dies on that shopping mall. Very sad.
PATA has always pushed back strongly, well, at least over the past decade, against any sort of plan to move her. In early 2023, as debate flared again over Bua Noi's future, Edwin Wiek, the Dutch founder of the Wildlife Friends Foundation Thailand, publicly said he would provide a home for her at his sanctuary. It's in Phetchaburi, south of Bangkok, where many abused and neglected animals live. That offer was also turned down. The zoo has defended its stance by saying that Bua Noi has been raised on concrete and in sterilised conditions for decades. Exposing her suddenly to soil or natural ground could risk infection or stress. Around this time, activists spray-painted Free Bua Noi on the exterior wall of the PATA department store building. It sparked an angry response. The zoo offered a reward of 100,000 baht for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the graffiti, describing the act as vandalism, and announced legal action. What feels like a siege mentality against its critics lasts to this day. As visitors assemble in a small waiting room before they can visit Bua Noi, they're asked to sit and watch a welcome presentation. On screen, a Thai language video plays. A male voice adopts a jokey tone, layered with canned sound effects, the kind you'd recognise from light-hearted Thai comedies. The video introduces Bua Noi, describing her as the beautiful star of the zoo. It disputes the reports and research suggesting that she arrived in the late 1980s, rather that she came in 1992. It talks about her air conditioning, how gorillas are endangered, and how Thailand has no further plans to bring in any more of them. And it directly takes aim at activists and animal experts, mocking them and denouncing their campaigns over the years. Then the doors open and the small crowds enter the room to see Bua Noi through the glass. There have been multiple plans for Bua Noi over the years. An extraordinary offer remains for Bua Noi to not only touch grass again, but be transported back to her home continent in Africa. Amos Courage is the Overseas Project Director at the Aspen Foundation, a UK wildlife and conservation organisation with projects in Central Africa. Until recently, it had the only projects reintroducing gorillas back into the wild. And Amos knows that even with good intentions, it's a mammoth task to release a captive gorilla. For Bua Noi, he admits it's a long shot. The next best thing, he says, is living in a dedicated sanctuary with her own kind, with her own type of freedom.
It's a hard and grueling process. But once you take them out into the forest and they get over that initial traumatic period, you can see the spark come back into their eyes. They start interacting with other gorillas and they start to thrive. But then, it takes another sort of 8 years before you can truly call them reintroduced. You have to kind of gradually, it's a soft release process. So you don't just open the doors of a cage. You take them out into the forest every single day, you sit with them for hours, and then you kind of show them what to eat. They see what the other gorillas in their group are eating. And eventually, actually, they burst out of the dormitories. We just build these wooden dormitories out of locally made planks. And when they're strong enough and kind of confident enough to get out, they're ready to go.
No, it must be a really rewarding process, if not for an exhausting one.
Sometimes we've had gorillas that are over-habituated. They're too kind of human-orientated. Maybe they've been with their carers for too long. They've been in somebody's house by themselves in nappies, being fed the wrong foods. And they're just never going to be right for reintroduction. And it's very difficult to reintroduce those individuals. Bua Noi would definitely be one of those animals. We probably wouldn't be able to reintroduce her. But we had plans. There are other options. We have several islands that she could go on. There are other gorillas that she could join. The trouble with gorillas that have been kept by themselves, they're social animals, so they're going to be traumatized by that alone. It's like keeping a human in solitary confinement their whole life. You have to put them with an animal that will be sympathetic to that trauma. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. She might have been rehabilitated, but it was unlikely. So the plan was to bring her to Gabon. At least she'd be in her natural habitat. The temperature, the foods, the smells, one would have hoped that there would be some sort of genetic memory of that within her, which would have sparked, some improvement in her standard of life. She would have reacted to it.
When you hear the representatives of the zoos claim that she probably wouldn't survive a move like that, or being taken away from the only place that she's known for decades, that doesn't wash with you?
I've rescued 13 gorillas from Brazzaville Zoo during a civil war. They spent 2 days in Brazzaville Airport under heavy gunfire. It was traumatic. It wasn't easy. But as soon as they arrived back in the forest where we took them, they were right as rain within hours. So it's not true, and we've done it many times. Short-term stress is not a problem. It's long-term stress that is damaging. Things can always go wrong. It's always dangerous sedating an animal, but we've never lost an animal during that transport process. She'd arrive in Gabon, she'd be flown directly to Lekedi Sanctuary. She would be put into an enclosure and probably, into a shut-off for a few days just to acclimatize. And then she'd be released into the enclosure, these lovely sort of 10-hectare enclosures with tons of space, tons of places to hide, to climb. She'd be fed wonderful food every day. Her quality of life would be immensely improved. Gorillas aren't, meant to be stared at. It's difficult for them in zoos. The stress levels were always much higher. There's been studies on this. It's definitely not a natural state for them to be in. So in a sanctuary such as this, she'd be off show. She wouldn't be being watched and humiliated every day. She would be possibly with another gorilla of similar age. And you never know. In time, she might be right for reintroduction. Like I said, it's not a given. But even if she wasn't, she'd have a much better life in a much better habitat. And her story of going back to her, a native habitat would be a wonderful conservation success story, even if she wasn't, released. I can see it all now very clearly. It wouldn't be difficult, and it would be a great outcome. I think Bua Noi is important because she is such an iconic captive gorilla. Everyone knows her. Justice has to be done. I think, she deserves a better life.
Despite the offer outstanding, right now, there is no indication that Bua Noi will be let out from behind her glass. Just a few months ago, her enclosure was temporarily closed to the public. Pata Zoo said she had to take time to rest. It's unclear if she was unwell during this period, but she has since returned to the job. Thai activist Sinjira Apatan continues her mission too. She is still organising, still raising awareness, still hoping that one day she will see her little lotus be free.
Each night, passing by, sometimes when I think of Bua Noi, I said, okay, we are happy and home with our family. At the back of my mind, is Bua Noi still there? Or she's still up there. What's she doing up there? People should have consciousness like that. It's a common sense. You don't have to be activists. You don't need to be animal lover. Just be a human being with a heart of compassion. The owner used to say he will not let her fly out of the country because he will miss her and Thai people will miss her. Which sadly, actually, Thai people do not really look after her when she is with us. That's the time that Thailand should look after her. She's a World Heritage. She should be well looked after in terms of her emotion and her spirituality. But when they will fly her back home to Africa, people will say, we miss Bua Noi. Where's Bua Noi? Bua Noi will be gone. And it'll be in the news again. Either she dies up there or either she flies to Africa. We'll wait for that day, but the consequences will be much different. But people who don't do much for her but often ask, what if she dies? Well, of course, death is nature, part of nature of human's life. Gorilla has to die. And what I would like to question back is, yes, if she dies up there, But if she happened to die, even traveling from the 6th or 7th floor down to the ground floor, if she died during that way, the meaning of her death is so much different. To let her die up there is one story. But if she died once she landed on the Mother Earth, that is another story. It says a lot about our effort to give her back the dignity, the beauty of the princess of the forest who needs to talk to the world. That is how I would like to pass my last breath on Mother Earth. That is how I like to die.
How do you think you will feel your emotion if the day comes that she walks on the grass?
I would love to go to wherever Aspina will take her. I think it's in Congo. But I hope there will be a support for me to fly there to see her off.
And how do you think you will feel seeing it?
Yes, I want to cry. Yes, I would feel, wow, this is it. This is it, Bua Noi. You're home.
That would be an amazing day.
Yeah.
For nearly 4 decades, the world around Bua Noi has argued, changed, protested and moved on. But she has stayed in the same place. Her future remains undecided. Bua Noi cannot tell us what she wants. All she can do is live with the consequences of our decisions.
A song from Bua Noi to all of you. In the forest, that's my home. In the jungle, that's my home. With my family, that's my home. Welcome, welcome to my home. ป่าแสนสวยคือบ้านของเรา มีภูเขาต้นน้ำลำธารและพี่น้องแสนสราญมาสิมาสิมาบ้านฉัน
For those who have fought for her, the story has never been about blame, only about compassion, only about imagining a different ending. Behind the Glass was researched and written by me, Jack Board, edited by Tiffany Ung, sound designed by Ken Delbridge. Our social media editor is Joanne Chun.